This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Friday, October the 19th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, the University of the West Indies Cayfield campus is reporting a major jump in its enrollment of new students, following 5 years of steadily decreasing numbers. Principal of the Cayfield campus, Professor Eugene Barreto, says this is because Barbadians are taking advantage of government's reintroduction of no tuition fees for its citizens doing undergraduate degrees. Speaking to Barbados Today following the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the University of the West Indies and the University of Ghana at the campus, Barreto revealed that final enrollment numbers are up by 10% for this academic year.
We have nearly 500 more students this year than we had last year. Since the tuition fees were introduced in 2014, every year we noticed the numbers were less, although the first drop-off was the sharpest, and last year I said at matriculation that it was declining because I don't know if there was a comfort with having to pay or whatever, but the decline was lessening. But this year we see a marked increase. So when I looked at the numbers last night and was preparing for something, it was about 482 more students, and they represent a 10% increase on the numbers last year. So there is, persons are taking advantage.
In other news now, the Mayor Motley-led administration is being warned that if it does not get its job cuts procedures right, it could end up facing an expensive round of lawsuits. The caution came yesterday from President of the Democratic Labour Party, Verla de Pisa, as she gave her party's perspective on the government's plans to send home 1,500 public workers this year as part of measures under the International Monetary Fund-supported Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation BERT program. De Pisa expressed concern that the government seemed not to have learned from the ruling of the Employment Rights Tribunal in the matter of the hundreds of National Conservation Commission employees who were retrenched by her former administration.
When you make these cuts and you make them quickly, there was no build-up. I haven't seen any application of Section 31 of the Employment Rights Act. I have not seen any application of the judgment coming out of the NCC litigation before the Employment Rights Tribunal. So I would expect, if they don't do it according to the book, that we're going to have another round of litigation, which is also expensive. So when I look at all of these things, I cannot see the savings that we are intended to have.
A bangle snatcher has been sentenced to 3 years in prison. Shamar Ronaldo Welch of Rockhampton Road, Grisette, St. Michael, was sentenced earlier this week by Magistrate Christy Coffey Sargent for 9 counts of theft of bangles and other jewelry worth thousands of dollars. The offenses were committed between March and June 2016. Now, Welch, who is already serving time in jail, told the magistrate, and I quote, "I want to say sorry. Right now, I'm looking to better myself. The drugs, cocaine, is what has me like this, and I don't want to waste my life. I would like that when I get out, that is out of prison, that I get into Verdun House. I know that I did wrong, but I would like you to be lenient on sentencing." Meanwhile, Guyanese Kevin Anthony Lane was yesterday handed over to immigration officials after his attorney, Ezra Allen, told the Bridgetown magistrate his client was unable to reimburse his victim. The 27-year-old man who lives at School Road, Hinesbury Road, St. Michael, recently pleaded guilty to entering the home of Marcin Skeet as a trespasser between February 10th and 11th and stealing a $1,600 television and a $180 DVD player. Magistrate Douglas Frederick then sentenced Lane to 9 months in prison, suspended for 1 year, and handed him over to an immigration officer for their consideration. He has been on remand since September the 17th.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. Jamaica's Ministry of Health is among a list of government entities owing the Urban Development Corporation millions of dollars in rent. The issue was discussed at this week's sitting of the Public Administration Appropriations Committee. More in this TVJ News report.
The Ministry of National Security owes over $46 million in unpaid rent, Port Security Corps Limited over $30 million, the Commissioner of Lands over $29 million, and the Statistical Institute of Jamaica over $10 million, rounding up the top 5 delinquents.
And on the international scene, one of Afghanistan's most powerful and feared police chiefs, General Abdul Razak, has been assassinated. However, the U.S. top commander escaped the attack yesterday as he had only moments before met with the senior Afghan police official.
Pictured speaking here last year, Razak was shot by a bodyguard at the compound of the governor of Kandahar. General Scott Miller was unharmed in the attack, which also killed the governor and a local intelligence commander. The Taliban, who've claimed responsibility for the attack, say they were targeting General Miller and General Razak. Local officials say Miller, who took over US forces in the country last month, was saved by his body armor. Razak was a ruthless opponent of the Taliban and had been criticized by human rights groups, but lauded by US officers.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now, you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.